Good morning. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback for your writing assignment number one. I've opened up your final draft, and you did exactly the right thing. I see your note here. You want to keep your final draft inside of the same assignment folder, so I can see the difference in dates. And you don't have to rename it if you don't want to, because you just once you make the corrections, you can upload the second copy. That's perfectly fine. I can see the dates that they are submitted. So I apologize. I also noticed that your feedback did not upload over here. So that's why I'm going back through and reattaching feedback. I apologize for it being so late. Your feedback was created over a week ago, so I'm not sure why that took so long. But let's take a look at your final draft, and I'll share with you how I do the feedback. I use the assignment rubric attached to each of the assignments. This is located inside of your assignment folder, and then you would just click on the writing assignment here and scroll down. The PDF is also located above, and that gives the assignment parameters, all the tasks that you're expected to do. So if I take a look at this, you give a great description of the job that you do, what it is that you, how it is that you need to organize that job, or what it is, your job description and things that you do in there. What I recommend adding in there is that you have two employees. They have internal communications. Where are you located? Like, what are you in an older building in downtown Frederick? Are you in the outskirts? Do you work in an office building together? Are you remote? So you want to give a description of what the work that you do, where you do it, and then describe what types of communications take place inside of that workplace within that given task. So you've done that. You just want to make sure you give a little bit of a description of the physical structure. Here you've selected 4 communication inhibitors, and you have used a similar, what's called parallel structure. You just want to make sure down here, it looks like you cut and pasted, which is perfectly fine, but you want to make sure that you're not italicized at the end there. Parallel structure means any items that are in a series, and this is a series, 4 separate things, that you use the same type of approach. So if you want to use bullet points, great, make sure you do it for all 4 of them. If you want to enumerate, great, make sure you do it for all 4 of them. If you want to use paragraph descriptors, that's perfectly fine too. Just make sure you use the same structure, and you have done that. Inside of your communication, inside of your table of analysis, here you give a great description of a specific event that took place. You identify it, labeling the inhibitor, and then you analyze what it is how that inhibitor impinged or impeded the communications. So what you want to take here is take out the first person. You want to say that the client was expected. Let me read you your analysis. The reality was that I expected to need to request that the vendor terminate the coverage, and I'd already asked the vendor to do so. The invoice that went out was simply a system-generated invoice that was mailed to the client, even though coverage had been properly terminated. So here is not necessarily a definition or description of what took place. What you want to do here is to say the client expected the client did not expect to receive the invoice that caused a communication inhibitor. You don't need to give a justification. This is not necessarily a justification of the action that took place, but a justification of why that inhibitor was in play. So I hope that makes a little bit of, hope that shares that with you a little bit more. So then when you give your analysis, you want to make sure that you include these 4 inhibitors or barriers that you have identified in that analysis. And I hope that gives you a little bit of feedback. If you want to make those modifications, just resubmit one more file into the assignment folder, and I look at the most recently submitted file as the final copy. Thank you.